Okay, so unfortunately, Jen wasn't able to make slides in time for Success Club and for volume and such. So we won't be doing that for this call. But if you have Success Club points and you're killing it with volume, that's awesome. You just won't get a shout out right now. Today we have Miss Rachel on the call, and I'm sure everybody watches her just like me, and we're just all dumbfounded with our jaw on the floor, like, how does she do this month to month? You're not alone. It's not just new coaches that feel that way. She's in my downline, and I feel that way every time I log into my back office and see her killing it every month. So we finally have her on a call. We're going to figure out what exactly she does to be so successful. A little bit of background. I know that Rachel signed up to be a discount coach and wasn't really going to work the business until she flew to LA to film the Pio infomercial with Shalene. And when she came back, she was ready to kill it, and she has been killing it. So, Rachel, if you want to talk a little bit about your story and tell people a little bit about you that don't know you.
Okay, awesome. Well, to be honest, I'm super excited and humbled and just kind of like, oh my gosh, I get to talk tonight, which is exciting. So for everybody who doesn't know me, back in July, it was Monday, July 7th when I started. So anybody who sees my before picture, that was on Monday, July 7th. I had gone to the doctor early that week because I have to get an annual physical for my job. And my doctor has been seeing me since I was a teenager, and he said, Rachel, you have gained 140 pounds since you graduated high school. You are 32 years old. You are pre-diabetic. I'm prescribing you metformin, which is a really powerful diabetes medication. I weighed 290 pounds at 32. And he said, you're lucky you don't have high blood pressure. He said, your only option at this point is gastric surgery. So I went home that day feeling completely defeated, hopeless, helpless. I had always been an athlete, but everyone in my family struggled with their weight. And I allowed depression and children and busyness and laziness to have me gain 140 pounds. So I logged on to Facebook, and I saw an old child friend of mine, Heidi, post a video about this low impact, high results, PIO. I'm like, I'm doing it. That's it. I need low impact. I weigh almost 300 pounds. So I bought it, and I just bought the DVD package. I didn't buy Shakeology. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because I'm going to get into that a little bit later of how I'm doing things. So I bought the DVD, and I took my before pictures Monday, July 7th. In my first week, I lost 4 inches off of my waist and 11 pounds. I was doing very strict clean eating, counting every single calorie, and doing 1 workout a day. That was it. I followed the program to a T. In the first 30 days, I lost 30 pounds. After 8 weeks, I lost 43.5 pounds. When I was in LA, it had been about 6 months, and I lost 65 pounds. And I'm now at the 8 months in, and I've lost 85 pounds. I have 45 more to go. My goal is to lose these last 45 pounds by July 7th of this summer. And that will mean that I have met my goal of 160, and that I will have lost 130 pounds in exactly 365 days. So as Eva said, I signed up to be a discount coach because 30 days into it, I realized everything that my coach told me was true. Everything so far. And I trusted Heidi. I knew who she cared about me, that she was doing this to genuinely help me. And I thought, she's not going to tell me to spend $100 and some odd on something if it's not worth every penny. And I trusted her, so I bought it. I was a discount coach. I flew to LA. I was very blessed with the opportunity to have a all expenses week-long trip to LA. I met Shalene and Carl Deichler, and I got to share my story. And when I was out there, I realized that I really had been blessed with the opportunity, but at that point I had a responsibility to share what was working for me. I couldn't keep it to myself. So when I was out there, I was getting ready to fly home the next day, and I put up this status and I said, hey guys, I'm thinking about starting a private group here on Facebook to share my journey so that I don't have to keep flooding your news feeds with my stuff. If you would be interested, like this status. And I had like 200 and some people just from my friends list say, yeah, I want to watch you. I want to keep up with this. So I came home and I started coaching, and Heidi really mentored me. She walked me through some things. And I really was able to get my focus where I wanted it to be. And that was to do everything I could to share my strengths and my struggles to help others save their lives. For me, it wasn't a matter of wanting to look fantastic in a bikini. I needed to save my life. I needed to show people that you can be practically 300 pounds, and surgery is not the answer. The answer is an exercise. So that's my why. Hold on one second. I'm having a little bit of echoing. I just want to see if I can.
Make sure you guys are muted.
I was just about to say, everybody mute themselves. I think everybody's muted now.
Okay. So that's my story. That's my why. I still bust my tushy every single day. I'm a very busy person. I have a licensed faith-based childcare in my house. I have 3 children of my own and a husband. And during the day, I care for between 6 to 9 children, 4 years old and under, all day long, 10 hours a day, plus my 3 children who come home from school and 3 after-care kids who come home from school. So when people talk about being busy, I totally get it. I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I am a working mom, taking care of lots of little children all day long, so I have to take care of myself. I've heard somebody, one of the top coaches, in a webinar or something, say that some of the most successful Beachbody coaches are those who are very busy because you have to allocate your time well. So I wanted to share with you guys basically how I sell, how I share with people. The core of who I am and what I'm doing is I want to share my journey in hopes to inspire others. That's it, bottom line. And if you remember what I just said a few minutes ago, when I started, I could not afford Shakeology. I knew it was probably great, but I just couldn't afford it. So I spent $60. So the way I do things is a little backwards from, I guess, what maybe corporate would tell you to do. But it's working. It's working for me. So that's what I'm going to share. Whenever somebody reaches out to me and they say, hey, you look great, can you help me? My immediate response is always, tell me about yourself and your health and fitness goals. I need to know about that. I need to know, are you a working mom? Do you work 12-hour shifts 4 days a week? Tell me about yourself and tell me what you want to do. And then right after when I'm talking to them, this is usually through Messenger on Facebook. So as soon as they tell me about themselves and their health and fitness goals, then I say to them, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I know it's hard to share that with a complete stranger. Most of these people don't know me personally. Or if I do know them, I say, thank you so much for sharing that. I really didn't have any idea that this was going on in your life. And then I briefly share, all these pounds that I've lost is through clean eating and at-home exercises. Have you ever heard of clean eating? I always end the conversation with a question. And at this point in my coaching journey, this is just copy and paste from one message to the next. I go back to an old message, copy and paste, tell me about your journey. I go back to an old message, copy and paste, I've lost this through clean eating and exercise. Have you heard of clean eating? So they'll normally come back with, oh, not really, or yes, I've heard of clean eating. So then I share with them a very, 2 or 3 sentences. Basically, clean eating is no processed food. And I do all my workouts at home because I'm so busy. Have you ever thought of doing a workout at home? And this keeps them engaged in the conversation. So they'll either say yes or no. No matter what they say, I say, well, let me tell you about what I've been doing. Let me tell you about a program I think would be great for you. And I realized that one thing that I do that I didn't really think about until I sat down to write this is I don't just say, oh, there's dozens of programs to choose from. Choose one that you like. I choose one that I want to coach through. Mm-hmm. So in the beginning, it was always PIO, 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 because that's the only thing I did. But now I'm doing the 21-day fix. So for instance, all of February and March, I would come back and say to people in these conversations, I think you would be a fantastic fit for the 21-day fix. Let me tell you about it. This program makes clean eating and portion control simple from day one. It gets your nutrition in line from the start. And you have 7 different workouts, and they vary each day, so you never get bored. And I tell them about the program in maybe 2 paragraphs. And then at the end, this is where I say I kind of do things backwards. At the end, I say, did you know that you can get this entire program for $60? $60. And my coaching is totally free. And then they usually respond with, oh my gosh, that's awesome. And then I say, yes, it really is awesome. It's a fantastic deal. It's exactly what I did when I first started. But let me tell you about the other option that you have. And then I say, there's a complete pack called a challenge pack that includes everything in the 21-day fix essentials kit, plus something called Shakeology. Have you ever heard of that before? Question mark. And then they'll either say yes or no. No matter what they say, I copy and paste into my conversation. Let me tell you my experience with it. Shakeology is, I say, I didn't use it in my first month because I thought it was a gimmick. I thought it was too expensive. I thought it was a Slim Fast style shake. But boy, oh boy, was I wrong. I tried it after my first month, and I will never go without it again. And then I list, it's got proteins and amino acids and pre and probiotics and phytonutrients. And I list that, but then in, 1 or 2 sentences. And then I say, it is so amazing because it curbs my appetite. It gives me energy. All the things that us as coaches know it does. So I share that with them. And then I end it with, can you tell I love it? Smiley face. And then that gives them a chance to say, oh yeah, I can tell you love it. After they respond, I say, well, you have 2 options. You can get let's say, for instance, the 21-day fix. You have 2 options. You can get the 21-day fix program for $60, or you can get the complete challenge pack with this superfood nutrition that I just told you about for only $140 or whatever it is that month. And then I finish with, no matter what you choose, I will coach you through it every step of the way. I'm going to put you in a small group called a challenge group where other people who are doing the 21-day fix are going to start it right alongside you. And I'm going to coach you every step of the way for encouragement and accountability and pushing you to do your best no matter what. So whatever method you choose is great. I do not make it a requirement that they buy Shakeology to get into my challenge group. I will help anyone and everyone. If somebody comes to me and says, oh, I bought PIO off of Amazon, will you coach me? I say, heck yeah, I will, absolutely, because accountability is key. On average, my challenge groups have about 40 to 50 people, of which probably 30 to 35 of those 40 to 50 people have either bought a challenge pack or bought the program itself. So I want to kind of pause right here. If I know these people personally, when I say, okay, you can get a challenge pack you can get it for $140 or $160 or whatever it is. If I know them personally and they're on board with buying a challenge pack, right then, only if I know them personally, I say to them, oh my gosh, I'm so excited that you've made the choice to invest in yourself. I know that's a big price point and I'm so proud of you. Let me help you get the Shakeology for exactly the price that I pay. And they say, sure. And so instead of saying, do you want to sign up to be a discount coach? I say, well, I tell you what, let's do this. Instead of sending you to my regular retail site, I'm going to send you a separate discount link. That's exactly how I phrase it. On that discount link, I'm going to give you directions, and you're going to just, and then I copy and paste the directions, but I give them the beachbody.com. You click on coach, then you click become a coach, and then I type in there, don't panic, you're not becoming a coach. This is a way to get it at a discounted price. And I say there's no contracts, no commitments. And I explain to them that at the retail price, Shakeology is $129 plus tax. After tax and shipping, you're paying like $138. And I tell them, when you go through this special discount link is exactly how I phrase it. Not discount coaching, special discount link. When you do it, you're paying a total of only $116. I know a lot of people in our group have said, how do you get people to get over the $15.95 fee? I include it in my quote of the Shakeology at a discount price, because we all know that it's $99 plus $15.95. So I say, you're saving almost $25 a month. If you decide that you don't want it, you just cancel, and I can send you that link. This is no harm, no foul. You know you're going to try it. You love it. You're going to stick with it. Why not do it from the start to save the money? So that's how I get them, if I know them personally, to go the discount coach method. And I think I have about 11 coaches on my right, maybe 9 on my left. I just had a couple drop inactive because they've been on Shakeology for like 5 months now. And that normally is a time when a discount coach might drop off.
Sorry, I just want to interrupt quick before I forget. I want to ask you a couple follow-up questions that I don't know if anybody else is thinking about them, but I just want to get deeper into it. So talking about when you give them the base kit option and the challenge pack option together, the way that I do it is I always offer the challenge pack first. If they are 100% like not down with it, then I'll feel it out and offer the base kit option. Do you feel like doing it the way you do it? Do you feel like you have, well, obviously you sell challenge packs because you have 20 plus Success Club points.
Right.
Do you feel like that's the better way to go and not everybody goes towards the base kit? Because, to me, I would feel like they would.
Right. And that's a very good question. The reason that I do it that way is because I think back to when I started, that had I heard that the price was $140, I would have been, or $180 or whatever it is, I would have immediately been like, whoa, it kind of throws up a barrier right away.
Right.
But when I offer the $60 base kit first, that kind of gets their excitement, like, oh, I could do $60.
Yeah.
Like it kind of puts a more positive spin on it. And this is the other thing, and we'll talk about it when I get into kind of how I'm running my challenge groups. I have so many people who started out the base kit who in their very first month after their very first month, they decide, you know what, I'm getting that Shakeology. I'm giving that challenge pack. So not only did I get a sale, if we're talking numbers, not only did I get a sale from them buying the base kit, I then developed a lifer who comes back and buys a challenge pack. Right. And I'll talk to you about that because when I kind of wanted to hit on that when I get into the challenge groups and how I can tell that the way that I'm doing it is creating rollover every month. It's creating people who were only on base kit and I'll explain why they learn to trust the Shakeology. But to answer your question, I do the base kit first because in my mind, it puts a more positive spin on the conversation rather than, well, if you can't, this is just my opinion. Well, if you can't do 180, yeah, you can get it for 60. Because if it were me on the receiving end, I would have thought, well, why didn't you tell me about that in the first place?
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
So that's just kind of my experience. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. That's just where my thinking.
What works for you. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I explained how if I know them personally and they say, yeah, I'll do the challenge pack, I'll try the Shakeology. Only if I know them personally do I offer them the discount link.
Okay.
The reason that I do that is because if this is just some random person who decides that they're going to trust a stranger on face value and try Shakeology, it seems a little fishy then to be typing in your social security number.
Right.
So I only do it with people who know me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, no matter which option they choose, no matter if they choose to buy a $60, the base kit, or if they buy challenge pack, I always come back to them and say, after here's my link, let me know if you have any issues. I always come back and follow up immediately, not after they order, but immediately with, thank you so much for trusting me to be your coach. I am going to be here for you every step of the way. Here is my personal cell phone number. when this arrives, when your package arrives, I want you to call me or text me and let me know you have it. That immediately, if they're kind of, what I found is, if they're kind of on the fence or, oh, I might order it next week, they already see that I'm genuinely, and I don't just say it for a marketing reason, I'm genuinely invested in them already with my time. And I phrase, if I don't know them, I say, here's my private cell phone number. Just saying those words, like, here's my private cell phone number.
Yeah.
If it's somebody who doesn't really know you, they're like, wow, I've got this girl's number. So that's how I do it. And then I always say, the next step, call or text when your package arrives. And then when they call or text, within a week or 10 days or whatever it is, I always say, oh, I'm so excited for you. This is going to be so fantastic. I want you to mark on your calendar, whatever that Monday is that I'm starting the challenge group. And I say, mark it on your calendar and keep an eye out, because I have you on my list to add you to my private challenge group, and we're going to start, that day. So that's from the beginning to the end, how I do the sales part of it. Do you have any other questions on that?
No, you have it it's very organized, I feel like my conversations are all very different. They all vary how they end, what I say.
Right.
And I think that yours is more uniformed, and that would be way less of a headache.
And the reason, and this,
yeah.
And Crystal had asked me a question, like, how do you keep all this organized with all these people texting you? And this has definitely I've honed this in over the past 2 months. November, I sold tons of base kits of the PIO. And then I ran a challenge group. And then December, I sold tons of the base kits of the PIO and a couple challenge packs. But once January hit, I was really starting to realize I've got to stay organized with these conversations. And one of the ways that I've found to stay organized is by having the conversation track go in the same exact method every time. Mm-hmm. I've kind of found what works. And that makes it easy for me to go back to those people and pinpoint in the conversation, oh yeah, here's where I ask them where their goals are. They want to lose 30 pounds. So it does help me to stay on track. And whenever I have somebody, I should probably learn how to use my back office printouts a little bit more, of like printing out my recent customers. But whenever I have somebody order, I write their name down on a page in my journal so that I'm always adding to the list of who's going to be in that challenge group. Right. So I don't have to like go back and search through messages and then make sure I don't miss anybody. It's like a running tally. And to answer, this is a good spot to answer Crystal's question. I get tons of text messages every day. Tons. Like, I'm talking 60 or 70 new text messages every day. In the beginning, in December and January, it was quite overwhelming because I felt like, okay, I've told these people I'm here for them every step of the way. I've got to answer. And when I would tell people, hey, give me a call when your package arrives, I used to say, and I'll walk you through the program. And so people would call me, and then I'd say, okay, you're going to read through the book, you're going to do this, and blah, 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 blah. So, Crystal, one of the things that I have learned to do is, instead of walking them through it individually, I say, keep an eye out for that challenge group. And in the prep days, like let's say Thursday before the Monday starts, I do quick little 3-minute videos of, welcome to the challenge group. Here's how it's going to work. Every day I'm going to come in and I'm going to make a coach post and I'm going to pin it to the top. Your assignment is to come in every day, look at that pinned post. And each new day I unpin the old one and I repin a new one. And that way my coaching posts don't get lost in all the, hey, I got my workout in, here's my picture of my lunch. So doing those videos has helped me a lot to cut back on my time that I'm on the phone and answering text messages. But I still have a lot of text messages and Facebook messages. So I give myself about 35 minutes in the morning and about 45 minutes at night where I answer every single thing that comes in. So from the sales perspective, I think that's what I wanted to hit on. If you don't have any other questions, I'll kind of keep transitioning into how I do the challenge group. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, I definitely want to hear. Want to hear about how you move them from base kit to
yes,
all that good stuff.
Okay, perfect. So challenge groups, like I said, I let anybody in. Renee, I'm sure she'll watch this at some point. I think Shannon was hoping to be on the call. Renee's new coach, Shannon, had bought Pio or 21 Day Fix. I'm sorry, Shannon, I don't remember at this point which one it was. But anyway, she had bought one, and Renee didn't have a challenge group. And so Renee reached out to me. I'm like, sure, I'm going to put you both in it. So whenever I have somebody who has a coach who wants to be in it, whether I know that coach or not, I say, absolutely, you can be in it. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to shoot your coach a friend request, let them know, and I'm going to put your coach in the group too. And that way, if I have somebody in a challenge group, like if Shannon, let's say Shannon was going to ask me a question, I would answer the question because I'm running the challenge group, and then I'd tag Renee so she can follow up. So that's how I do that. So I let anybody in. I do my challenge groups the full length of the program. I do not do them for 30 days. That can be tricky when you have, 2 or 3 different challenge groups going on. But the reason I do that is a personal decision, because when I started Pio, I wanted to quit in my first week. I wanted to quit in my second week. I would have quit in my third week had Heidi not kicked me in the tush and said, you're not giving up on yourself. Had my challenge group ended after 30 days in my fourth week of Pio, I probably would have quit. Had I not had that full, okay, I've accomplished this. I've gotten all 8 weeks done. So I run my challenge groups, however, with the 21 Day Fix, I do 2 rounds. So that's something that I think might be different than, what a guideline might say. I do use the guidelines that are available in our back office. They are very helpful, especially if you're running your first challenge group or you're running a challenge group with your sponsor coach. Those challenge group guidelines in the back office really give you a basis for the kinds of posts to do. But more often than not, I do an original post from me every day. That is only because I don't mind talking. I don't mind writing a post or sharing. I enjoy doing that, and I think it makes it feel more personal. I will tag people in it. The one thing I do after the first week in a challenge group is I actually assign accountability partners in the challenge group. I will sit down with a pen and a paper, and I'll go through all of the members, and I will match them up with somebody. And I'll make sure that most times it's someone that they don't already know. So I'll make a post, hey everybody, here's your accountability partner. This is important, coaches. I'm talking to everybody listening here. This is important because this kind of takes some of the pressure off of you to be the sole person that these people message. I have some challengers who will, I'm trying to say this without sounding like I'm making fun of them, but I kind of am. I have this one girl in particular who she'll say, how do you mince garlic? How do you get the garlic smell out of your house? How do you get the garlic smell out of your refrigerator? How do I cook chicken? How do I do this? How do I do that? If she had an accountability partner from the very beginning, she would be messaging that person with those little questions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So accountability partners are key for me in my challenge groups. I want to back up. I did miss one thing. In the prep days of my challenge groups, meaning I put everybody in on a Wednesday. My first post is on a Thursday, and it's always a 3-minute video. Hey, welcome to the challenge group. I already said that. Here's how it's going to work, pinning things to the top. Then the next day, I say, okay, here's your second assignment, here's your first assignment. I need you to do the toughest thing that you're going to have to do, and that's to take your before pictures, your before weights, and your stats. I explain to them why it's important, that I know it's difficult, and I say send them to my private Facebook inbox. And then once you've done that, I want you to type done in the comments of this video. That instantly gets people participating because they see, oh gosh, that person's done, that person's done, that person's done, I need to do it. So then I do another assignment the next day. My assignments are always the same. An introduction video is my first one of how I'm running this challenge group. The second assignment is their before and after pictures and stats. The third assignment, I do a third video. So this is like on, Friday, Saturday. I do a third video, and I say, I need you to send me a private message with your long-term goal. What do you want to ideally achieve in your health and fitness? after you've written me the long-term goal, I want you to send me your short-term goal. What do you want to do in the next 2 weeks? And I want you to send that to me. And after you send it to me, type, I'm done, in the comments. So you need to have their goals. That's important because, and I tell them this in the video, it's important for them to write out their goals and type them to me so that when they want to quit at the end of their first week or when they're really having a crappy second week, I can say, you know what, let's go back. Let's see what you wanted to get done by your second week. And let's remind ourselves of what your long-term goal is. I have found that those 3 videos cut down on all the private text messages, the private messages, and they really help the group to feel connected to me as a coach because they're seeing my face and they're hearing my voice. Okay? Then I'll do a video where I'm just, how often are you starting challenge groups? Because it seems like you would have a ton going on. That's a good, Crystal just asked how often am I doing challenge groups? I'm doing them once a month. That's it. I'm starting them once a month. I focus on one program and I start at like the beginning of every month. And yeah.
Can I ask really quick?
Yeah.
So I have the issue of people when they buy something, they're not going to wait until the challenge group starts. Like my people never wait. Do you have them wait or do you just have them jump in?
What I've been doing is I really have been focusing on starting my selling, the sales part, around the 8th or 9th of the month. I start to make posts on social media about, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for April to get here. Mm-hmm. And here's what I'm going to be doing. Who wants to do this with me? Okay. Who wants to hear more about it? Because when I start that on the 8th, then I have conversations from like the 8th to the 15th. And then the people will get it in the 3rd week of the month. And then they only have about a week to wait until the month starts.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, I do have some people who want to start right away, and those are the people where I have private phone conversations. They'll call me and they'll say, "Okay, I have it, I've got it," and that's when, if you remember, I say, "Okay, mark your calendar for this date." Mm-hmm. The people who say to me, "Oh, I want to get started now," that's when I say, "Okay, cool, let's walk you through this program." Okay. And then they get started on it, but I still add them into the challenge group.
Okay.
Okay. So getting back to the challenge group, and I posted an example of the video on Aspire Empire or Warrior Republic, I forget which one I did it in, of what your challengers need to hear in their first week. Y'all need to think back, how did you really feel on your second day when your muscles were dog butt tired and you felt like you couldn't hang with the workouts and you felt like, oh my gosh, I just can't get my cravings under control and I've got these headaches. And if you all watched the video, you saw what I said. That was because that's what I dealt with, and I knew that there were people in the group who needed to hear, hey, you're going to feel like you can't do this, and that's okay, and everybody's feeling that way. So those are the 4 things I wanted, I would say as far as videos. 1, introduce how your challenge group's going to work. 2 is, what was the second one? Hold on. Oh, the second one was the before and after pics and stats, even though it's hard. The 3rd one is sending you your long-term goals and your short-term goals. And the 4th one, at some point in their first week after they've started their workouts, send them a personal video on a post about how tough this is, and do not quit. Okay, so I keep going with some of the guideline posts. I post every single day, only once a day. I do it at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I pin it to the top because I figure probably not many people are up before then. And so that way, whenever anybody logs in, they already have a post. I do it at 5 o'clock in the morning. Once a week, this is something that goes into getting those people, the base kit people, to transition to Shakeology. Once a week, and only once a week, I will post about Shakeology. It could be something, it could be like a Beachbody picture that has the ingredients. It could be a recipe. It could be a selfie with my cup saying, hey, drop a comment in below of what your favorite recipe is. The reason that I only do it once a week is because I probably have 50% of the people on Shakeology, 50% of the people, well, probably more like 30% on Shakeology, 70% on a base kit. I only do it once a week because not everybody can relate to those Shakeology posts, but I've got 30% of those people drinking it. And then it makes all those people who are on the base kit see, boy, this person loves it. Oh, I know this girl and she's really loving her Shakeology. Oh, that recipe sounds good. It sparks interest all throughout the month. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is where I want to take a little pause. If I didn't know the people when they ordered and they wanted a challenge pack, I just have them go to the retail site and get the regular challenge pack. About 2.5 to 3 weeks into the challenge group, I will message those retail price challenge pack purchasers. I will message them privately and I will say, hey, how do you like your Shakeology? Are you feeling, what kind of benefits are you feeling from it? Tell me what your favorite recipes are. And it gets them engaged in a conversation about why they like it, some things that they don't, and I can kind of address them. And that's when I say to those people, hey, you're set up to get this every single month. Some people will say, oh, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I'll give them a few recipes to try. They might still hate it. And then I say, well, it's important at this time for you to cancel then so that you don't get charged if you don't want it. That's important that you're honest with them. Mm-hmm. The last thing you want is a challenger to take to you and say, I just got charged $130, even though they should have known in this fine print. So I'll say to them, well, since you love it so much, since you love this, would you like me to tell you how you can get it for the price that I pay? This is, again, the people who I didn't know personally, who've been involved in the challenge group, and I know that they love the Shakeology. So I go right back to that special discount link that we've talked about. And so how I have them do it, and Ava, you might need to correct me if this is wrong, but I haven't gotten any red flags or against the rule kind of things. I'll say, okay, this is easy peasy. All we need to do is I'm going to shoot you a link to online chat. You're going to cancel your current home delivery. They cancel it. Then the next day I said, okay, 24 hours from now, I'm going to send you the discount link. I'll let you know. I'll send it to you here via the message. Then I send them the discount link and I tell them, you would have paid $138 for your Shakeology. Did you know that you can get the 3-day refresh and Shakeology for what you would have paid for your one bag of Shakeology? And they're like, yeah, that's awesome. So then they get the 3-day refresh challenge pack for $140. So I get the discount coach set up. They get the 3-day refresh, and then they get their Shakeology every month for $25 cheaper. So that's how I'm generating the discount coaches. Did anything that I say, is any of that confusing?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
wow. So again, when it's a regular challenge pack person, I message them 2.5 to 3 weeks into the challenge group after I've already gotten to know them and established a relationship of trust. That's important. Okay. So then after I've kind of handled those challenge pack people, seeing if they want to continue with it and getting them to the discount, after that is when I'll go back to the people after like the first 3.5, almost 4 weeks, I'll go back to those regular program purchasers, the base kit people. And I'll say, hey, I would really love to get you some, especially if I've seen them liking people's posts about Shakeology or, saying, oh, that sounds good on a recipe. I'll say, hey, I would love to get you some free samples of Shakeology. I do not charge for my samples of Shakeology. I don't know if that's bad or not. Now,
it's up to you if you can swing it, but some of us just can't.
No, and I'm going to get to the point where I've had people say, oh my gosh, I know that these cost you money. I'll give you $3 or $4 a piece for them. And then I say, that's fine. But I'll say, hey, I'll message those people 3 or 4 weeks into it who only got the base kit. Hey, I would really love to share some of my Shakeology with you. Do you want to come, if they're local, I'll say, do you want to come over to my house and we'll chit chat and we'll kind of talk about your goals and I'll make you a shake? And then there's no way they can screw it up by making it because I'm making it in the blender with a half a banana and a scoop of peanut butter and it's freaking amazing, right?
Exactly.
And so most of the time these people come and hang out with me and then I send them home with a couple samples or I just send a couple samples to them or they pick them up or whatever. So they've already gotten the bug in their ear over the first month of all of these people who love it. So they're more positive about trying it. And if they want to try it, then I either encourage them to get the program, PIO or 21 Day Fix or Turbo. If I know they're a Zumba lover, I say get the Turbo Fire because that is perfect for you. Mm-hmm. Or of course the 3-day refresh because it's always $140 and they don't have to have a new workout program and they can get, a jump start on their nutrition.
Right.
So that's how I transition those base kit people to challenge pack people. Okay. Then at the end, and Eva, this is something that you shared because you had learned it and you had it on a video maybe like 6 months ago. I remember watching it. At the very end of my challenge group, I will do a post and I'll say, I am so proud of you guys. This is our final week, but this is not the end for you. I have created a central location accountability group for all of my past challengers where I'm putting them in so they can just get some daily posts and motivation and stay in touch with one another. Because even though I've got 40 or 50 people in my challenge groups, they are always so highly actively involved and encouraging with one another. They have relationships.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I say, I need you to comment below. Eva, this is something that along the same lines that you taught me a long time ago. I want you to comment below in this post, number 1, number 2, or number 3. Number 1, put number 1 if you want me to add you to my central location accountability group for all of my past and current challengers. I want you to put number 2 if you have really sparked some curiosity about Shakeology. I would love to get you some samples, and I can even tell you how I can get it to you for the price that I pay. Mm-hmm. Again, everybody, that's just saying, I'll give you my special discount link, not do you want to sign up to be a discount coach? And then number 3, would you like to be personally mentored one-on-one by me to learn how to really focus on your goals and then share your journey with others so you can come alongside me and do what I'm doing? So either 1, 2, or 3. That is a nice way to end out the group, and it's a way to continue conversations with them. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So to kind of sum it all up with how I'm running the challenge groups and making the post really personal and following through with private messages to these people, on a weekly basis. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, anybody who's a discount coach of mine, I send them at least one personal message a week, checking in with them every week. Hey, I'm just really thinking about you. I'm so proud of you. What are you struggling with right now? What can I help you? Do you want to talk on the phone? I privately message those discount coaches every single week because I'm feeling them out. I forget who asked this question. Somebody said, how do you kind of feel out who you want to really bring in on your coaching team from your discount coaches? Messaging those discount coaches once a week, first of all, it makes them feel really connected. They're much less likely to say, I don't need the Shakeology. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. So I'm messaging them at least once a week, and I'm just having conversations with them. I call them on the phone, say, hey, I was just thinking about you. I had a minute. How are you doing? Just chatting with them, because then I'm feeling them out of, do they really want to stick with the Shakeology is the first question, of course. But the second one is, where are their strengths? Where are their weaknesses? How can I help them to learn how to use their weaknesses to encourage others? And that's how I really get a feel for who's already doing a coach's job.
Right.
Just like Eva, you called me a long time ago and you said, when are you going to do this? Because you're already coaching. And I'm like, oh, it's not what I'm called to do. I'm too busy. And like, what? So if you have discount coaches in your challenge group, really invest time in them, because that's going to be the only way that you can learn if you're transitioning them to the business end of things. If nothing else, they'll stay on the Shakeology longer than a normal discount coach is on for 2 or 3 months and then they drop off. If you're really investing in your discount coaches, in a personal relationship with them, they're less likely to drop off the plan. Okay? So all of these things that I do in my challenge group, to sum it all up, is I really feel like I'm doing a good job of generating lifers. I have people who learn that they're trustworthy. First of all, I'm not making them buy Shakeology in order to be in my challenge group, so they're not feeling like they have to buy something. I have so many people who started PIO with me as a base kit switched to a challenge pack with a 3-day refresh. Then when they heard I was doing the 21-day fix, they're like, cool, I'm doing that one too. How do I get the base kit? Most of those people are discount coaches, so they get it for a discount. You know, I feel like I'm able to establish sound relationships with these people. Is it time consuming? Heck yes. You can't be afraid to really devote. I mean, I know we have Power Hour. I can't get all this done in 1 hour. I can't. I give myself 2 solid hours a day to get everything done. Okay, so do you have any questions about the challenge groups?
I'm good. Anybody? Anyone else?
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to touch on reaching new people and my like page. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. We have about like 10 minutes before some of us have to hop off and get on. I don't know if you're getting on.
Oh, yes, I'm getting on that other one. Yeah, Lauren's call. Okay, real quick with my like page. I think I'm at like 602 likes. But the way that I'm doing that page is that I am only posting health and fitness related posts. Again, not saying that that's right or wrong. It's just the way that I'm doing it. I figure that if somebody has come to Abundant Life Fitness with Rachel to have fitness tips, if they wanted to see anything else, they could just look at my personal page, but they're there to see health and fitness. It's super important to be putting up new original posts. And I know that Eva, you've said that before. I am blessed that I love to cook. I love to garden. I love to do all things organic. That's just very much who I am. So I post, you know, my coconut almond granola recipe and my granola bar recipe and my minestrone soup and all of those original things. If you only ever just put up a Pinterest pin, you're directing them to somebody else's site.
Right.
Okay. So I don't care if you find a recipe on Pinterest. Okay, I did a taco seasoning. The homemade taco seasoning was one of my recipes I just posted. It got shared a ton of times. That was one that I found on allrecipes.com or like Food Network or something. Mm-hmm. It was just a recipe from another site. And I added like a pinch of chipotle chili pepper or something silly. But that wasn't something that I had to sit there and figure out exactly what the best recipe is. I found one. I made up my own post, my own photo, click and share. So that's really important. But I keep all things health and fitness. When I do a before and after, you have to be careful with before and afters if you're looking to boost a post. I think Christina has been denied a boost post because of a before and after picture. I know I have been before. I had a very successful boost post that I paid a total of $60 to boost it. It was a before of me at 290 pounds. And then it was like, my face like this, like, hey, and I said 75 pounds lost in 7 months. No gimmicks, no fads, just clean eating and exercise. Message me today. Oh, hey, Eva, you like that one. I remember we talked about that one. Message me today and I will help design a health and fitness plan for you for free.
Yeah.
I spent $60 in a 4-day, and I had it run for 7 days. In the first 4 days, I had over 123 new messages from people.
It's crazy.
Wanting some info. And so that's where we go back to all those copy and paste. Tell me about your health and fitness goals. Back and forth, like everything we talked about. So for me, I generated, I think it was about 60 new, out of 123 messages, I had 60 new customers. Even if they all bought the base kit, I got my $60 back in a boost.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that's something for y'all to think about. I know it can be difficult to think, do I really need to pay Facebook to run this? It was worth it for me. It definitely worked. The other thing is I know that everybody's kind of a little nervous about the Facebook policies and if you're going to get shut down and this and that. I guarantee you that as soon as you pay them something, you're off their radar. Right? I mean, that kind of just makes sense. Okay. Also, with social media, I don't do Instagram. I only have a Pinterest page that I put in my challenge groups because I have like a 21-day fix page, a motivational quotes page. So social media, I only do Facebook. One other thing that I wanted to encourage you all, every single coach, whether you're diamond, emerald, brand new coach, I never, ever, ever post anything negative on my Facebook, on my personal or on my private page, on my like page. Does that mean that my husband and I don't ever, have really crappy weeks? No. I mean, we have crappy weeks. Does it mean that my kids don't drive me nuts or somebody really pissed me off when they took my parking spot? Of course that happens. Don't post about it. You are representing yourself. As Christine Dwyer says, we're not selling Beachbody programs. We're selling ourselves. You're selling health and fitness. You want people to be drawn to you because there's something about you that they can relate to. There's something that they can connect with. And the last thing that people need when they are looking for inspiration and encouragement, the last thing they need is a negative Nancy posting something about a rant about somebody else. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's one thing that I wanted to do, that I wanted to tell you. The very last thing with social media is that I love the fact that I put my before and afters up there. And I'm sure everybody does. Everybody's, we're all posting our before and afters. But one thing that we all really need to focus on, I've had a really big transformation. I know that that's part of my success. I mean, I had 27 Success Club points in March. I looked only for the process of making this, of kind of trying to show people where I'm at. I added up my total income for March. I made $1,898 in 4 weeks.
That's amazing.
And I'm not saying that boastfully. I'm saying that with a thankful heart that this is something that works. Mm-hmm. I have a transformation. Every single person here has a transformation. You have got to stick to your programs to a T. You've got to not cheat on your eating. Now, I'm in a position where I still have 45 pounds to lose. And Evan and I talked about this. People ask me, do you have cheat meals? What do you do in between rounds of 21-day fix? I never have a cheat meal. I can't. And I explained it to Eva this way. If somebody was trying to quit smoking, you had somebody in your life who was quitting smoking, and they were smoke-free for 30 days. No one in their right mind would say, just have one cigarette. It's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
Right? For me, now this is just for me. This is not for everybody. I still have 45 pounds to lose, and I've been morbidly obese. I cannot just have one burger and be okay because it makes me want more. I cannot just have one brownie because I'll go back and eat 6 more. I know that that's where my weak point is. So if you're in a position where you know that if you have something that you shouldn't and it's going to make you spiral, you've got to think to yourself, I am my business. I am a walking, flipping billboard for my business. I've got to do this. Does that mean that we can't live and have a glass of wine if we're going out to dinner? Of course you can live your life. But if you know that you're at a point where I am, where I can't control it yet, you have to stick to it. You have to get your workouts in every day, and you have to follow those programs. I've said this when I went out to LA. This is one of the things during the interviews that I said is that there's people who are watching us who are at the point where I was at almost 300 pounds and think that it's hopeless. They think that surgery is the way. Or you have friends who have 30 pounds to lose and they're depressed. I mean, there's mental health issues too and emotional health issues that we can improve in people through health and fitness. Mm-hmm. And we need people to be able to look at us and say, they're a real person and they're doing this. And I think it was Christine Dwyer said on just a call just the other night, and I wanted to share this with you guys because it really hit home for me. Your challengers and your clients and your discount coaches are not looking at you to be their nutritionist. They have nutrition programs. You need to just constantly guide them back to what that paleo nutrition program is. It's been designed by doctors. They don't need a nutritionist. They have one in their program. They don't need a personal trainer. They have the best ones on those programs. They need you as a coach to be vulnerable with your struggles and your strengths and to be encouraging and positive no matter what. That's what they need. Mm-hmm. That's why this business works, because we're building relationships with people. So I mean, that's all I had written down. You know, the SC points, there no, oh, Crystal has a question. Oh, okay. What was I going to say? You know, I'm very thankful to have had the great SC numbers that I'm having. And what I can truly attribute that to is really being determined to change my body and being determined to help people wherever they're at. I think that if I would not be so happy with those people who came to Amazon, you know, I had what everybody has happen. I had a girl who's going to sign up as a discount coach. She could get it for $5 cheaper, Shakeology and the 21-day fix. She got it for $5 cheaper on eBay. And so she messaged me, hey, oh my gosh, I saved $5. Is that a problem? So of course I'm like, so my exact response was, heck no, it's not a problem. I'm still excited to coach you, when really I was thinking, oh my gosh.
It's $5.
I know. And what I've said to one of my coaches is, I said, what's frustrating is when that kind of thing happens, it would be like buying a vehicle from a dealer that says, we're going to give you lifetime free oil changes and lifetime free inspections no matter what. So you buy that vehicle from that person. And then it's like you drive to any other store, you drive to any other garage and pull up and say, hey, give me a free oil change.
Yep.
That's what it's like when but I know that this girl loves her Shakeology already, and I know that I can get her to be a discount coach in 30 days. So help people wherever they're at.
Sorry.
Don't discourage them. If they can't do anything, when people can't do anything, like somebody was laid off, they really just need help, I'll say, you know what, here's my cell phone number. I want to talk to you. Give me a call sometime next month. Let me know how you're doing. Make sure you follow my Abundant Life Fitness page and try some of those recipes, and keep an eye out for my clean eating groups. Let them know, even if they say, oh, I can't buy anything, still find a way in your own way to bridge that gap with them. So I guess that's it.
Yes, that was awesome. And I want to wrap this up by saying, you know, a lot of people, I know that there are a lot of people within my downline who have the personality that they look at someone like you, Rachel, who, you know, knocks it out of the park and gets over 20 Success Club points. You have all these messages. Just because you don't have 100 messages sitting there waiting for you doesn't mean that you're not doing well. Right. You know, I made it to 1-star diamond, and I sure as heck have never had over 10, you know, messages in my inbox. So don't feel like because you're not hitting the numbers she is that you're any less of a coach. You know, she found what works for her, and you have to constantly be tweaking how you go after, you know, how you go after your conversations with people and how you do your follow-ups. I'm still tweaking how I do things until I find something that works for me 100%. But you are awesome. I got a lot of good information, things that I'm going to personally try, which I'm very excited about. So thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Well, thank you for having me on. And I am still, and this is something I told Heidi, that I am still learning so much. I mean, there are times when I'm not, you know, when we all have that new coach who messages us all the time. And if you're a new coach and you keep messaging your sponsor coach, they're not bothered by it. I think I message Heidi probably 3 times a day when, like, the first 3 weeks when I started really coaching. And all of those things, it's a learning process for all of us. I still have to be like, I don't know what a business center is. I still am so new to it. So if you're feeling overwhelmed as a new coach, exactly what Eva said, do not compare your journey with someone else's. Learn from their journey and learn how you can apply it to yours, but you have to make it your own.
Yeah.
We don't need another, people don't need another Rachel Greenholt, because there's certain people that are connecting with me.
Yeah.
You don't need to try to copy exactly what I'm doing, because that's not you. You know, everyone here is uniquely gifted by God with special talents and qualities and things that you've been through in your life. I have a brand new coach who is celebrating her anniversary of being clean and sober for many, many, many years.
Awesome.
She's overcome so much in her life. Today is her anniversary. Danielle, I love you if you're watching this on a recording. And I know that everything that has happened in Danielle's life, she is going to be able to use to connect with people.
Yep.
If you've struggled through depression and anxiety and you're overcoming it and your health and fitness is helping, you're going to be able to reach a ton of people that don't feel connected to me at all because I haven't really struggled with depression and anxiety. Anything that you look back on your life and think, well, that was a really hard time, but I overcame it and here's how. That's what you need to be vulnerable with and sharing. So like Eva said, don't compare your journey to others. Don't compare your numbers to others. We can all learn from each other, and that's what we're here for as a team. But just know that you are uniquely gifted with a uniquely poignant set of circumstances in your life that have brought you to where you are now, and you need to learn how to harness that and use it in your coaching.
That is so right. Okay, I hate to cut this off, but we have a call with Lauren.
Okay.
So thank you, everybody, so much for getting on. I hope you guys got some good info from this. Have a good night.
Bye.